This is a CBS2 News update. I'm Alex Dennis. Organizers anticipate more than 2 million spectators will line the shores of the East River for Macy's giant fireworks display. It starts at 9:25 tonight. The NYPD's security plan includes more than 6,000 uniformed and plainclothes officers and sand trucks blocking vehicle access to pedestrian areas. Parades will also be underway today. Ridgewood, New Jersey will host their 108th annual 4th of July celebration. It'll also be the 108th parade in the Travis section of Staten Island. One of the nation's biggest parades takes place in Washington, D.C. And for all the information on Independence Day events, including street closures, area fireworks displays, and more, go over to head to CBSNewYork.com. How is the weather looking for all the 4th of July festivities? Well, John Elliott is here with a check on the forecast. Hey, John.
Hey, thank you, Alex. Hi. So as we look outside right now, you can see, we've got some hazy sun, the 11 o'clock observation out of the park, 83 degrees, but it feels like 90. So everybody says, heat wave's over. Well, technically, yeah. I mean, if you want to get technical, and we like to be technical. I mean, this is a digital news delivery system. So obviously you're technical, but come on, it's still going to feel warm. These are the current air temperature readings, low 80s, and these numbers compared to yesterday, yeah, if you want to get technical, they're lower, 4, 5, 6 degrees cooler. But dew points are still soupy. So you've got the real feel numbers around 90 right now. And with the added heat of the day, I mean, those real feel numbers, 95 to 100. That's why there's still a heat advisory. Now, you know what? Temperature trend, we have turned it around. We'll be in the 80s, but those real feel numbers stay pretty, pretty humid today and tomorrow. Big View shows a little bit of light on the big composite radar. Zooming in, yeah, we do have these isolated thunderstorms. We were talking about them on the TV side this morning. Now, yesterday, the scenario was severe storms. We don't anticipate the kind of coverage that we saw yesterday, but we're going to leave the chance of those storms in the forecast this afternoon. Now, what does that mean? That means for the barbecue, for your family fun, there could be a brief interruption, but then you're right back outside, right around 88 today and tomorrow. And then Friday, that's a front. So that means the air is still humid. It's still hot. There's going to be more coverage of those storms, but that serves up some nicer numbers. Not only is it cooler, but there's less humidity as well. So still pace yourself today. Watch out for a little bit of thunderstorm activity. Remember, individual storms can be strong. And have a great 4th of July. Alex?
All right, John, thank you. Well, the NYPD reports the city's first health-related death of the summer. 71-year-old James Wallace was found dead in the driver's seat of his car Friday on 149th Street and 25th Avenue in Whitestone, Queens. An autopsy confirms that Wallace died of hyperthermia. And the extreme heat, well, it isn't stopping Meals on Wheels volunteers from making their rounds. And these home visits are especially important for the elderly, with many staying indoors until the weather cools down. Here's CBS 2's Hazel Sanchez.
We were with City Meals on Wheels in January as they battled bitter cold winds and heavy snow to deliver meals to some of the city's most vulnerable citizens, homebound seniors. A 180 as volunteers walk door to door, lugging heavy food bags into stifling hot walk-ups.
Hi, this is City Meals on Wheels. Okay. Hi. How are you today?
Oh my God.
80-year-old Zoila Chanu was thrilled to see the delicious dishes delivered by Emily Engel Peso.
I'm so appreciated because you have to go to do this thing in this hot weather, not only to me, for everybody.
It hasn't been easy.
It's been really hot, really humid. The heat I can kind of deal with, but it feels like you're in a sauna, but without any of the luxury.
We get water. We try to get water and whatnot and stay in the buildings as long as possible.
Before heading out on their routes, volunteers are reminded to stay hydrated and to report if a client shows signs of heat exhaustion or doesn't have a way to stay cool.
Make a note by that senior's name so you can tell Elvira or Adela when you get back that this senior has no air conditioning or no fan in their apartment. All right? That's the most important thing for today.
You're keeping cool today?
Yeah.
You're drinking water?
Doctors say many seniors aren't able to regulate their body temperature like younger people can.
So the brain doesn't tell them, okay, it's hot now, you should do something.
While a lot of people sweat it out, the elderly actually have thinner, less porous skin, which makes it difficult for them to perspire.
I don't go nowhere. It's hard to breathe, it's hard to walk, and I get tired easily.
A perfect example of why a simple knock on your older neighbor's door can be so important. In Midtown, Hazel Sanchez, CBS 2 News.
And new developments in the murder of a Bronx teenager last month. 2 more accused gang members will be arraigned today. That is a total of 10 now charged in the case. 29-year-old Diego Suero was arrested last night, and police sources say he is the local leader of the Trinitarios gang. He is accused of ordering the murder of 15-year-old Lisandro Guzman Feliz in what police say was a case of mistaken identity. Sources say Suero was not at the scene when Guzman Feliz was stabbed outside of a Belmont bodega, but the second man charged last night, 26-year-old Gabriel Ramirez Concepcion. Sources tell us police believe he was there the night of the murder. And it is day 12 for a soccer team trapped in a flooded cave in Chiang Rai, Thailand. The Thai Navy released a second video showing the group of boys doing pretty well despite the circumstances. Authorities say a team of 7 people, including a doctor, are down there taking care of them, and a phone line is being set up so they can finally speak with their parents, and they are practicing putting on dive masks. Crews could begin the complicated process of evacuating the boys as early as tomorrow. And a formal announcement on affirmative action is expected today from the Trump administration. It will reportedly end a federal policy that encouraged schools to take a person's race into account during admissions. The guidance was meant to promote diversity. Yesterday as well, the president celebrated active duty service members and veterans during a military tribute. The Salute to Service charity dinner took place at the Greenbrier Resort, West Virginia. Mr. Trump praised Americans of every generation who have served in the armed forces. And a consumer alert. The Secret Service is warning motorists about a potential scam at the pump. The agency says thieves have been installing credit card skimmers to steal financial information and then use it to make fraudulent purchases. The skimmers are small, they're electronic devices, and they capture things like your card and PIN number. Experts say you should wiggle the card reader to make sure it hasn't been tampered with, and pay inside at the gas station whenever you can. And millions of Americans are firing up the grills today for their 4th of July parties, but before you start cooking, you will want to inspect your grill for a possible danger. CBS 2's Meg Oliver explains.
Thomas Hatcher uses a wire brush to clean his grill, but in 2015, he told us how a piece of the brush got stuck in his hamburger and then in his mouth.
I was about halfway through it, and I felt something really sharp and intense pain.
The hot piece of wire lodged into his tongue, requiring a trip to the hospital and stitches.
It was just really a pain that I've never felt before.
Cheryl Harrison was also eating a burger when she swallowed this piece of wire brush the doctors had to remove from her intestines.
My stomach was bloated, extremely tender to the touch.
Research shows about 130 people go to the emergency room every year with these types of injuries.
There's a piece of wire that you're not going to be able to digest, and that can actually cause an internal burn injury that can actually burn through parts of your stomach or your intestines.
But Mount Sinai's Dr. Eric Ideen says it can easily be avoided.
It's best just to take a damp cloth, wipe off the entire area before you turn the grill on. Just make sure everything's clean and you're not seeing anything else on there, because that's how it gets into the food. It's really sort of a hidden particle that latches onto the food.
A simple way to make sure your cookout is a safe one. Meg Oliver, CBS News.
And research shows that 1,600 people visited the ER with wire, bristles, brushes, injuries between 2002 and 2014. Well, the North Boardwalk at Rye Playland is back just in time for the 4th of July holiday. Westchester County officials held a ceremonial reopening yesterday. The 700-foot stretch of boardwalk underwent a $4.6 million reconstruction project after it was destroyed by Superstorm Sandy. And now officials say it is durable enough to withstand another superstorm.
After 6 years of construction, this has been completely upgraded with storm-resistant materials. There are steel piles that replace the former wooden ones, and there's a concrete substructure underneath.
Well, the North Boardwalk is part of a quarter-mile seaside stretch, and if you're looking for plans tonight, Playland Park is hosting a 4th of July fireworks show, and that's at 9:30. And Nathan's 4th of July hot dog eating contest is now underway in Coney Island. Yesterday, men's champion Joey Chestnut and his main rival, Carmen Sicati, well, they stare at each other down at the top of the Empire State Building. Women's champion Miki Sudo will chow down against top eater Michelle Lesko. They also participated in a weigh-in for the contest in Coney Island. The winner there, Joey, last year 72 hot dogs, so we'll see if he can beat that. Makes me hungry just looking at it, or maybe not. That's your CBS 2 News update. I'm Alex Dennis. Join us in just a moment for a live Facebook after show. Have a great day.